Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing. Don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling for July 15th, 2021. So, yeah, man, this is the go home show before Slammiversary. Slammiversary is this Saturday. And so yeah, with this show, man, it was not all that good. It wasn't good at all, man. It felt like most of the stuff on this show, like most of the matches on the show, never should have happened because because most of them they're competing at the pay-per-view. So why would you put them in a ring tonight when they're going up against each other on Saturday? That's the one thing. That's the one thing I didn't get about it. That's the one thing I didn't get. And having the champions lose and all that stuff, having you know Tasha Steelz losing earlier in the show, but I'm gonna get into that later, man. Like, dude, you have a paper, like you giving away parts of the match, man. I said this for weeks now. I said this for weeks. Like, dude, why are you having these people, the contenders and champions, going up against each other when when they have a match at Slammiversary? And same thing with the X Division. Why are the X Division competing against each other when they have a match on Saturday? Like they already gave away the matches. And so yeah, that's what I didn't like, man. That's what I haven't liked about, the parts that I haven't liked about the show. But yeah, man, but I didn't expect this show to be a good show or a great show because none of these go home shows ever be great. That's just the way it is. But yeah, that was it with Impact Wrestling, man. And so yeah, just like what I said in my intro all the time, if you haven't done this already, hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to the subscribe button, you click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. So yeah, so this is the Impact Wrestling review for July 15th, 2021. And so yeah, so first off, man, we had an announcement for the Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan match for the Impact World Championship. And the match will be a no disqualification match. Match will be a no disqualification match for the Impact World Championship at Slammiversary this Saturday. And so yeah, we started off the show with Tenille, Dashwood, and Kaleb versus Jordynne Grace and Rachael Ellering. And so yeah, man, this was a disaster, man, an absolute disaster. So yeah, so we had Grace, she had took out Kaleb, and then the heels had took control of the match, and then Ellering had at one point took off Caleb's pants, and you saw his underwears and all that stuff. And yeah, you had Grace at one point. Kaleb, he was on the top rope. He was on the top rope, and Jordynne Grace had punched him in his freaking asshole. And so she powerbombed. She powerbombed Kaleb, and she went for the cover. And then Dashwood had broke up the pin. And so we had a Vader bomb to Kaleb from Grace. And then we had a springboard leg drop to Kaleb from Ellering. And we had a super kick to Grace from Kaleb. We had a sling blade to Kaleb from Ellering. And we had Tenille Dashwood hit a finishing move to Spotlight to Ellering. And then we had a tope suicida to Dashwood and Kaleb from Grace. And then we had a power slam. We had a power slam to Grace from Kaleb, which was nasty, man. Because Grace, she had landed right off her, she landed right on her head off of that power slam. And so, yeah, we had an assisted spinning slam to Kaleb from Grace and Ellering to win the match. And that was it. So Jordynne Grace and Rachael Ellering wins the match, and that was it, man. Did not like this. This is embarrassing, man. Absolutely embarrassing. Like, I don't know why I don't know why he's competing in women's matches. I don't know why. I mean, I don't mind him being there, but why is he competing in women's matches? Why is he competing in women's matches? Dude, that's the same thing with Reginald on Monday Night Raw. He's competing in women's matches. Why is he competing in women's matches? Compete in your own division, man. Compete in your own division. And so yeah, man, that was it with that, man. Oh, like terrible start off to the show. And so yeah, so right after that we had Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Knockouts champion, and she was backstage with Scott D'Amore. And so yeah, so Scott, he had a contract for Deonna Purrazzo to sign. And, you know, Purrazzo, she wanted to know who her opponent was, but Scott D'Amore didn't want to tell her. And, you know, because Purrazzo, for weeks, Purrazzo been saying that, hey, I could be anybody. And so now that, you know, they gave her a mystery opponent, now she's in panic mode. And so Purrazzo, you know, she talked about her success in Impact Wrestling, becoming the Impact Women's Champion or the Impact Knockouts Champion, and her taking out everybody, you know, beating everybody on the roster and retiring Jazz. You know, basically saying that she's been dominant ever since she stepped foot in Impact Wrestling. So she's been the Impact Knockouts champion for a year. And so at Slammiversary, I think it was Slammiversary, she won the championship from Jordynne Grace. And so yeah, so Purrazzo, she was arguing with Scott, you know, because Scott is not telling her who her opponent is. And so Purrazzo, she signed the contract anyways. And so Purrazzo, she had asked Scott, you know, now will you tell me who my opponent is now that I signed this contract? And then so Scott, he said, no, I'm not going to tell you who your opponent is. It's a mystery. You're going to find out. You're going to have to find out at Slammiversary. And so, yeah, so Tommy Dreamer had came in right after Scott had left. And so Tommy Dreamer, he wished Deonna Purrazzo luck. And so, yeah, you know, poking fun of her, saying that he knows who this person is, but he's not telling her who she is. And so, yeah, man, that was it with that. Now, with the championship match with Deonna Purrazzo going up against a mystery person, I don't know who wins. Maybe the mystery person will win. I don't know. But you don't want somebody coming in on their first night winning a championship. That's not gonna come off the right way. It's not like you have other people on that roster that vied after that championship, and to have somebody come in on their first night and win the championship, dude, that's not gonna come off. It's not gonna come out the right way. You know, it's not gonna come off good. But I don't know who this mystery person is. I don't know who it is. It could be anybody. My first guess is probably Ruby Riott, maybe, but I could see Ruby Riott in AEW. But yeah, I really don't know. I don't know who it is, man. My first guess would probably be Ruby Riott, man, because you know she's actually dating Jake something. So I don't think that's the reason why, but I think she will end up in AEW. Yeah, if I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Ruby Riott will probably be the mystery person. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Tasha Steelz. So we went from one women's match to another women's match. And so we had Tasha Steelz, who is one half of the Knockouts Tag Team Champion, with Kiera Hogan, who is the other half of the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champion, versus Havok with Rosemary in our corner. And so yeah, with this match, one of the matches that never should have happened. You're gonna hear me say this a lot. This match never should have happened. This match never should have happened. I don't know why this match happened. So yeah, so Havok took control of the match
We had a jumping neckbreaker to Havok, and then Steelz had took control of the match at that point. We had a backbreaker into a clothesline to Steelz. We had a corner runner and boot to Steelz. We had a pop-up belly-to-belly suplex to Steelz. And then to end the match, we had a tombstone power driver to Steelz to win the match. So Havok wins the match. And that's my first problem. Why did this match happen when they fighting in a tag team match for the Knockouts Championships, the Knockouts Tag Team Championships at Slammiversary? Why are you putting these women in the ring against each other? And then another thing, you had Tasha Steelz. You had Tasha Steelz lose the match. You had her get pinned in the match. You have one half of the Knockouts Tag Team Champions getting pinned. And you know, you guys, if you guys watch my channel, man, you guys know how I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of champions ever losing, man. I'm not a fan of champions losing in non-title matches. Like, champions should always be booked strong, man. They should always be booked strong. You don't see Kenny Omega losing every single week on a show. You don't see Roman Reigns losing in a non-title match. None of these people should be losing. I don't care what champion you are, a mid-card champion or a world champion or a women's champion or a tag team champion or a cruiserweight champion. You should not be losing in non-title matches. The only time a champion should ever lose is if it's a championship match. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but the only time a champion should ever lose is a championship match. And so, yeah, man. But yeah, that was it with the match. It really wasn't much to the match. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had Kimber Lee. She was backstage. She checked on Susan because James Mitchell had took her in his lair last week. And so Kimber Lee had came back the next week to go check on her. And so Susan, she had came out of the room. And, you know, Susan, she had said that everything has gone as planned. And so Kimber Lee, she had asked about James Mitchell, like, where is James Mitchell? And so Susan, she told Kimber Lee, like, you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. And so, yeah, so Susan, she said that she knew all along. What did she know? That was the question. What did she know? And so, yeah, so Susan, she had grabbed Kimber Lee by her hair and dragged her into the room. And so, you know, Kimber Lee, she started screaming and all that stuff, and that was it. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had Herro versus Steve Maclin. So this is an absolute squash match. So, yeah, we had a German suplex to Herro. And then Maclin, he started talking trash to Herro, saying, like, are you kidding me, man? This is my opponent. Like, this guy looked ridiculous. And so, yeah, we had a spear to Herro in the corner. We had a crossbody to Maclin. So Herro was actually fighting back. And that was probably his only move that he hit on Maclin. And so, yeah, Maclin, he had no-sold the crossbody. And so he had popped back up and caught him with a clothesline. And, yeah, to end the match, we had a lifting reverse DDT to Herro to win the match. So Steve Maclin wins the match. And so right after that, you know, Steve Maclin, he grabbed the mic, so he finally spoke on a microphone. And so Maclin, he says, prepare and wait. And, you know, Maclin, he said that, you know, he came to Impact Wrestling prepared, but he's done waiting. And so that was it with that. So he's challenging. He wants more competition. Who is his next opponent? I don't know. But, yeah, I still see Steve Maclin as a tag team wrestler, man. They need more tag teams in Impact. I don't know what Wesley Blake is doing, man. I really don't know what he's doing. But if he's not doing anything, man, send him to Impact Wrestling, man. Send him to Impact Wrestling and align Maclin and Wesley Blake together because they were great together. They were great together in the Forgotten Sons. They should have been NXT Tag Team Champions, man. They should have been NXT Tag Team Champions in the Forgotten Sons. They had a great showing in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic when they made it to the finals. Or it was either the semifinals or the finals. I think it was the finals. And they came this close from winning. They came this close from winning. And so I think that was the year that Black and Ricochet was in it. Malachi Black and Ricochet was in the tournament. I think that's right. But yeah, that was it with that. But yeah, they need more tag teams in Impact, man. They really do. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Havok and Rosemary with Decay, Crazy Steve, and Black Taurus. They were backstage. And so Rosemary, she was talking about the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships and their quest on getting the titles. And so Rosemary, she had brought out James Mitchell, and so because they believe that he's the only one that's gonna guide them towards success. And so Rosemary had asked Havok, like, "Are you ready? Are you ready for this?" And so Havok, she had nodded, and so everybody all laughed, and so they laughed and they walked away. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had an 8-man tag team match. So it was Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Rohit, Raju, and Shera versus Petey Williams, Trey Miguel, Josh Alexander, who is the X Division champion, and Chris Bay. This is another match that never should have happened on this show. Like the whole entire X Division had been at each other's throat the entire time. Like saying, whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Are you on this side? Are you on that side? Like, dude, who cares? Who cares what side you're on? You're fighting for the X Division championship. And now they've been in these multi-man tag team matches and all that stuff, fatal four ways and all that. Like, dude, you already ruined it. You already ruined the match. I mean, the match should be good at Ultimate X, at Slammiversary. But dude, you had these guys go up against each other this entire time. This entire time. And you already ruined the match. You ruined it. But yeah. So yeah, we started off this match with Williams and Raju. They were going back and forth. We had a big boot to Austin from Alexander. And we had a snake eyes to Miguel from Fulton, followed up by a big boot, shades of the Undertaker right there. And so we had a double foot stomp to Austin in the back. We had a hot tag to Chris Bay. He took out all the heels. And we had a tilt-a-whirl power slam to Bay from Fulton. And so yeah, I'm gonna skip towards the end. We had a Canadian destroyer from Raju a Canadian destroyer to Raju from Petey Williams. And so at that point, everybody were hitting each other with their signature moves and all that stuff. And we had a roll up to Shera from Chris Bay to win the match. So Chris Bay, Josh Alexander, Trey Miguel, and Petey Williams, they win the match. And so right after the match, we had Fulton and the rest of the heels. They attacked Chris Bay, so they were being sore losers. And so yeah, so the baby faces, they even up the odds. And so we had Chris Bay, he had brought out a chair to fight off the heels. And so they were, the heels were standing on the stage and the baby faces were in the ring. And so yeah, Chris Bay, he hit Trey Miguel and Josh Alexander with a chair. And that was it. So I'm guessing he's back as a heel. I don't know. I don't think he ever turned babyface, but I guess he's still a heel. But yeah, I just said this earlier, man. I don't know why this match needed to happen though. I really don't know why. Like, these guys should be wrestling for the pay-per-view instead of competing. Like, this whole entire show should have been for those who don't have a match at Slammiversary. But yeah, that was it with that. So right after that, we had a backstage segment from Brian Myers, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. And so yeah, he spoke to Hernandez. So Brian Myers and Sam Beale, they were backstage, and they spoke to Hernandez. Brian Myers did. And so yeah, he wants Hernandez to take out Matt Cardona. And so Hernandez, he said that he has a gig. He has a gig at the Swingers Palace full time. So he's not gonna help you. He's not interested. I'm not interested. And so Hernandez, he walked away. And so Myers, he tried to go right after him. And so he had saw someone through the door. He saw somebody through the door. And so he was speaking to this person that was through that door. But we didn't know who it was. But Myers knew who it was. And so, yeah. So Myers, he had said, you of all people are probably the person that hates Cardona the most. And so that was it with that. So we didn't know who it was, but we did find out who it was later on. And so yeah, so Myers, he wanted this person to take out Cardona. And so yeah, that was it with that. So right after that, we had a match with not a match. We didn't have a match after that. So yeah, we had Brian Myers and Sam Beale. They came out to the ring. They spoke. And so Myers, he had called out Jake something to the ring because Brian Myers, he lost last week to Jake something. And he has to say that Jake is a professional. And that was the stipulation of the match. If Myers would have lost, he would have called Jake. He was supposed to call Jake a professional. And if Jake lost, then Jake will call Myers a professional. And so yeah, so Myers called out Jake to the ring. Jake comes out with Matt Cardona for backup in case something goes down. And then Cardona he wanted Myers to be a man of his word and call Jake a professional. And so Myers he had said that Jake is a professional, but that doesn't mean he's a star. And so Myers he started talking about Jake's ring attire and all that stuff, the beard, the hair, the trunks, and then he started talking about his name, his last name, something. And so Myers he said that that's what you'll always be, something. And so yeah, the brawl had broke out. So Jake he had took offense to that. So a brawl had broke out with all four of these guys. And so Cardona and Jake they took out Myers and Beale. And so Cardona and Myers they were in the ring. And so Cardona tried to go for the broski boot on Myers, but he was low blow. He was low blow from behind. We didn't see who it was, but the camera had panned backwards, and it was Tenille Dashwood. So Tenille Dashwood had gave Matt Cardona a low blow from behind. So Tenille Dashwood is actually Matt Cardona's ex-girlfriend. They used to date. I think when they were still in WWE. And so yeah, so Myers and Dashwood they attacked Cardona, and then Kaleb, as always, he was out there too. He recorded the beatdown, and so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, I did not expect Tenille Dashwood to show up. I really didn't. But it does make sense. It does make sense. Because Myers he's trying to get back at Cardona. He's gonna use his past, Matt Cardona's past against him. So yeah, it makes sense. And so yeah, so right after that, Cardona he was backstage. He spoke about the whole situation with Tenille Dashwood and Brian Myers taking him out. And so Scott D'Amore he interrupted Matt Cardona while he was speaking. And so Cardona he was scheduled. I think he was scheduled to face Myers in a one-on-one match at Slammiversary, but Scott D'Amore he had changed his mind. He had changed his mind. Instead of a one-on-one match, it's gonna be a mixed tag team match. So it's gonna be Myers and Dashwood, Brian Myers and Tenille Dashwood versus Matt Cardona and a mystery partner. So Cardona could choose whoever his partner. He could choose any partner he wants. And so yeah, that was it with that. So the first person in my mind was Chelsea Green, his fiance Chelsea Green, the recently released WWE star Chelsea Green. So Chelsea Green will show up. Now I think she was in Ring of Honor. I don't watch Ring of Honor, but she was in Ring of Honor. I think in one of the pay-per-view shows she was there. And so so Chelsea Green most likely will be a part of that mixed tag team match. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so so right after that we had a match. It was Moose versus Hernandez with Johnny Swinger in his corner. And so yeah, this was a squash match. This was a squash match as well, man. Hernandez at the start of the bell, he went right after Moose, and then Moose hit a Uranagi to Hernandez, and then to end the match, he hit a spear or the lights out to Hernandez to win the match. So Moose wins the match. And so right after the match, Moose he had grabbed the chair from outside the ring, and then he had set the leg. He had set the chair and Hernandez's leg to try to break Hernandez's ankle. And so Saban had came out to his theme music. I don't know why. That little short ramp, you could run down to the ring without no theme music. So I don't know why he came out to his theme music. So so Saban he had came in the ring and he had fought off Moose, and that was it. So so Saban versus Moose is gonna happen at Slammiversary. And so that was it with that. And so so right after that, we had a vignette from Kenny by God Omega, who is the AEW World Champion, the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion, and the Unified Impact World Champion. And Don Callis, the Invisible Hand. They were not backstage, but they had a vignette. They spoke about Kenny Omega. They talked about Sami Callihan. So so throughout the night, we had vignettes from all these different matches that's going to happen at Slammiversary. And so Omega and Callis, they were talking about Sami Callihan and him being a dangerous human being. And, him taking out everybody, him being reckless against everybody. Him taking out Eddie Edwards with that bat, several years ago. And so, they talked about the championship match, the Impact World Championship match, saying that, Omega is going to win. He's going to beat Callihan. And that was it. That was it with that. And so, so right after that, we had the main event. So I'm going to get into the Slammiversary card right after the show, I'm gonna make my predictions on the show, Slammiversary. So yeah, the main event, it was a 4-way match or a fatal 4-way, whatever you want to call it, and it was the battle of the Hosses. So we had Doc Gallows with Carl Anderson in his corner versus Fallah Bahh with TJP in his corner versus Willie Mack with Rich Swann in his corner versus Joe Doring, who was one half of the Impact Tag Team Champions, with Violent by Design in his corner. So that's Eric Young, Rhino, and Diener in Joe Doring's corner. And so yeah, this is the battle of the Hosses. So this is the other half of the tag teams, the bigger guys. And so yeah, so Gallows and Doring had a stare down. So I absolutely love the stare down with Gallows and Doring. And so Mac and Fallah, they took out Gallows and Doring. So Mac and Fallah, they took out Gallows and Doring. We had Mac and Fallah, they were going back and forth with chops and strikes. And then Gallows and Doring, they attacked Mac and Fallah. And so at one point we had Doring, he was working on, I think it was Willie Mack or Fallah Bahh. He was working on one of these guys by the ropes. And so the referee had told him to back up away from the ropes. And I was like, dude, what? Like, dude, it's a no disqualification. A fatal 4-way is a no disqualification, so there's no rope breaks, no count outs, like nothing. The only way to win is pinfall and submission. Anything goes. So I don't know why the referee got in his face to tell him to back up. But yeah, that was strange, man. That was strange. So yeah, we had a hip attack to Gallows from Fallah. And so at that point, everybody was fighting outside the ring. And then Doring and Gallows, they finally went right after each other. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they knocked each other outside the ring with a double shoulder tackle. And so we had a Samoan drop to Willie Mack from Fallah Bahh in midair, so that was nice. So Willie Mack, he jumped off the rope, he jumped off the top rope, and Fallah Bahh had caught him with a Samoan drop, so that was nice. And so we had a crossbody, so this is also nice, man. We had a crossbody to Fallah Bahh from Joe Doring. I love it when those big guys hit those crossbodies, man. It is very explosive, man, and epic. And so to end the match, we had Joe Doring. He had his finishing move, or one of his finishing moves, that short arm clothesline to Willie Mack to win the match. So Joe Doring wins the match. So at least the champion did not lose, man. That would be stupid. That would be absolutely stupid to have Joe Doring get pinned and lose that match. So yeah, they made the right decision by having him win the match, man. But yeah, although it was a great match and everything, a good match, that, like, I still don't know why this match needed to happen either. They are challengers and champions, man. I don't care if it's like one member of a team going up against each other, and then you fighting in a tag team, and at the pay-per-view, like, dude, no, don't do that. You giving away parts of the match. You already gave away the matches. Don't do that. I don't know why they do that. They do the same thing that WWE does with these 50-50 bookings, champions losing and all that stuff. One member going up against another member of a tag team to build up a championship tag team match. Like, come on, dude. Why, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But yeah, that was it, man. That was it with the show. And so yeah, let's talk about these prediction for Slammiversary. So yeah, so first off, we had the X Division Championship match, the Ultimate X match. It's going to be Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Josh Alexander, who is the Impact and the X Division champion. Chris Bay, Rohit Raju, and Petey Williams. So who wins the match? I'm going with Trey Miguel, man. I'm going with Trey Miguel. It is his time. It is his time to shine. Trey Miguel, man, ever since he came here, you know, he got his guys, MSK and NXT, as the NXT Tag Team Champions and all that stuff. And Trey Miguel, he actually had a great feud with Sami Callihan, man. He actually beat Sami Callihan. And, you know, I was like, man, Trey Miguel, he need to go after the X Division Championship. And I'll have him win. I'll have him win that championship. Have him win that championship. It'll be probably his first championship in the company. So what bad will it do to put the championship on Trey Miguel? So I'm going with Trey Miguel, man, all the way. You know, Chris Bay already been champion. Petey Williams, I'm pretty sure he's been champion, X Division champion. He's been there for eternity. Rohit Raju been champion. Ace Austin has been champion. Josh Alexander, of course, is the champion. And the only person that haven't held the championship was Trey Miguel, right? But yeah, I'm going with Trey Miguel. And so yeah, We have Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Knockouts champion, versus a mystery opponent. So who the mystery opponent will be, if I had to guess, is Ruby Riott. That's the only person I know from the top of my head. The only person I know from the top of my head that's gonna show up in Impact. That's probably a bigger name. The person that got released from WWE. That's probably a bigger name. Yeah, Ruby Riott, man. Probably Ruby Riott. But yeah, I could also see Ruby Riott in AEW too, man. That's just me. I could also see her in AEW. She could mix it up with all those women over there, with a Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and all these other women that they have over there. But yeah, man. So yeah, I'm going with Deonna Purrazzo to retain the championship because it's not gonna be right to have a newcomer come in. Like it's okay for a newcomer to come in to, go, like to win their match, but don't have them beat the champion on their first night. Like, dude, like if you have that mystery person beat Deonna Purrazzo, man, like, dude, the whole reign that Deonna Purrazzo had, that dominant reign, it's gonna all be for nothing. It's gonna be for nothing because you have somebody that showed up on a first night and have her beat Deonna Purrazzo, man. That's not gonna be right, man. But yeah, I'm going with Deonna Purrazzo to retain the championship, and who that mystery person is Ruby Riott. And also we have the Impact World Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. So we have Willie Mack and Rich Swann versus TJP and Fallah Bahh versus the Good Brothers versus Violent by Design. So representing Violent by Design, we have Rhino and Joe Doran. So that's an excellent choice, man, to represent Violent by Design. Because they have the Freebird rule, so you could choose any member of the Violent by Design guys. So they chose Rhino and Joe Doran, so that's an excellent choice. And I'm going with Rhino and Joe Doran to retain the titles, man. Because I don't like none of these guys. Like none of those guys should beat Violent by Design. Gallows and Anderson already been tag team champions, followed by TJP, a makeshift tag team. Willie Mack and Rich Swann, they not a legit tag team either. They're single stars, but they're real life friends. But yeah, no way. It's Violent by Design. Violent by Design is gonna win. And then we have Matt Cardona. Well, first off, we have Brian Myers. We have Brian Myers and Tenille Dashwood versus Matt Cardona and a mystery partner. So the mystery partner will be Chelsea Green. So I'm going with Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green to win the match. So that's what type of debut match you want to have, not in a championship match. So I'm going with Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. If it's Chelsea Green, we all know it's Chelsea Green. And then we have Moose versus Chris Sabin. I'm going with Moose all the way, man. Moose should not lose. Moose should not lose, period, to nobody. So Moose, that win is going to Moose. And finally, in the main event, we have for the Impact World Championship, and it's going to be Sami Callihan, a draw. Sami Callihan versus Kenny by God Omega, who is the AEW World Champion, the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion, and the Unified World Champion of Impact Wrestling. Kenny Omega with Don Callis in his corner. Normally I'll say Kenny Omega, but eventually Kenny Omega, he's going to lose one of those titles. Whether it's the AEW World Championship or the Impact World Championship, I don't know what it is. But yeah, if he loses one championship, he's going to lose another one. It's going to be like a domino effect. But I'm going to have to go with Kenny Omega. To win. So we can have more of those Impact guys show up on Dynamite. Because we still haven't gotten that Forbidden Door storyline. Not enough people from either company came to AEW yet, man. The only people from New Japan that came in was Kenta, and who was it? I forgot his name. He fought Jon Moxley for the IWGP US title. I forgot his name. It'll come to me later. But those are the only two that showed up from New Japan. Impact, all you had was Gallows and Anderson and Don Callis. That's it. And dude, nobody Kenny Omega should retain the championship. Point blank, period. He should retain the championship and have somebody from Impact show up on Dynamite, invade Dynamite, and challenge Kenny Omega for the championship. Do that, man. And now that we have fans back, you might as well do it. We didn't even do it when we didn't have fans. So you might as well do it when we do have fans now and they're traveling now. So might as well do it. Give Impact some shine, man. Give New Japan some shine. But yeah, man, that's what I would do. But yeah, so Kenny Omega retains the championship. And yeah, those are my predictions for the Slammiversary. Slammiversary, that's this Saturday. And yeah, man, and that was it with Impact Wrestling, man. Wasn't all that good, man. Wasn't all that good. It's a go home show. Really don't expect the go home shows to be all that good. We they never should have made those matches with the challengers and the champions going up against each other when they have a match at Slammiversary. It's just a waste of time. That's what it felt like. The show felt like a waste of time. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. And if you liked the video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications. And yeah, man, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. I'll see you guys on Saturday for Slammiversary. I'll see you guys for Slammiversary on Saturday, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for Money in the Bank. And yeah, man, if you missed my last week review of Impact Wrestling, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. And a link to that video will be down below in the description. So make sure you click either this video right here or click the link down below in the description. And everything else that you missed will be down in the homepage video on my channel. So yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for all the love and support on the show. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. Share this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this video. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.